Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Rukia Riad, and with me today I have students from Madina Islamic Senior Secondary School. Today we are going to be discussing about examination malpractices. Yes, students are doing these things. They are caught with summary papers. They've caught with writings on their bodies. We are going to be discussing about this issue. What do they think are the causes of examination malpractices in most Ugandan schools? Rukia Riad is my name. Join me.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, with me, as I told you, there are students from Madina Islamic, and I'm going to start with you, Bola. What do you think are the causes of examination malpractice in Ugandan schools?
Well, I would pin malpractices in examinations.
First of all, tell me what you understand by examination malpractice.
Well, examination malpractices are any actions that are not allowed to be done in examinations.
Yes.
Be it the final UNEB examinations or any other form of examinations.
Yes. So what are some of those illegal actions you are talking about?
Entering with summaries into the examination hall, and
talking to your neighbor.
Talking to your neighbor in an examination. Then sharing papers, writing on skin, going with content into the paper other than that in your head, and many others. But personally, I would pin malpractices in examination on three.
Yeah.
The schools, the students,
yes,
and the teachers. See, in most cases, malpractices are not done because students want to do them.
Yeah. But
it so happens that some schools are famous for their performance. Okay. So that, for example, if Madina Islamic Senior Secondary School started last year and its performance was booming, it was top notch, and this year the students don't look that competent, then the administration, the teachers, will have to devise means to make these students keep the flag up.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
So in the long run, the students are made to indulge in such activities. Here we are talking about the paying of invigilators, for example.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we do it here, but
it has been happening in different schools.
In different schools.
Yeah.
In most cases, teachers do it because they want to keep the school name up, top notch.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to keep the flag up high. You understand? And also, the schools do it not to lose their
reputation,
fame, their reputation in line with performance.
Yeah.
Also, it could happen because of the teachers' fear of losing their reputation
and their credibility.
Example, their credibility.
Even in some schools, teachers are given extra money in case their performance or their department performs very well. So they'll literally have to make sure, like the math department, you have to put emphasis and make sure that people pass math. So in order to get salary increase, it may even happen without the director's notice.
Yeah.
Just the teachers doing it to get a higher salary. Yes.
Also, like I said, the students, it also happens that some students have backgrounds from where they come from of top-notch performance. Like, for example, in a family of 4 sons, the first son performed to the peak. Same applies to the second, same applies to the third. I don't know anything you'd tell me as the fourth born for me not to indulge in malpractices.
Sport, yeah.
Because they have that fear of failure.
Yeah,
Like,
if I have that fear deep down that if I perform poorly,
It's going to just be me in the family.
it has an image it is shedding on my family of poor performance, which has not been there before. So I'll do whatever I can to keep my reputation, to keep the family's reputation.
You know, malpractice sometimes also comes because of teachers. You see these incidents where they flog students because of performing poorly. Even though you don't want to take the summary in the paper, you're forced to take it because like, if I don't
want to
copy
be
and if I
wagged the
don't
next
pass,
time.
I'm going to get wagged.
Yeah.
So you're literally forced to do it, so that's the teacher's fault at some point. Then about the school that has been already been successful, they've been doing well, everyone knows that they do well, and then after some time they see that the students they're having are not grasping content, they're not as active as the other year,
grades are getting lower.
yes, and they're not even getting, not even half. So that they get that worry. Them as the administration are going to get forced to look for all means. And if you help a student in the first paper, like let me say they're going to have a history paper, and you help them in that, they're going to start expecting more. Are they going to give us SAS for econ? Are they going to give us SAS for literature? You get? They're going to keep on having that urge for copying.
Also, like I
they'll
said,
get these papers leaked, like on platforms, or the teachers who are really like working with the UNEB, and then they'll get those papers and give students like revise this because this is the paper that's coming. But then it all turns against them when like that paper is changed, and then the students will fail.
Yeah.
And yet they were trying to maintain that standard,
grades.
like the school performs well, so they can get more students to come and keep up that prestige.
you see, like I said, I would put malpractices in examinations on three things: the schools, teachers, and students themselves. Back to the teachers, we've in most cases we've seen memes where in a joking way someone is like, the example is 1 + 1, then the exercise is 9 times 1 + 4 divided by 9
Exactly.
square root of 4.
You see a simple road, and then you see
So,
bridges around, more
this is
complicated
the
things
same
in the
thing.
examination.
In classes, teachers give simple examples, you understand? And simple exercises.
And when
But
it comes to exams,
examinations,
it's something different.
things are
Something so
complex.
complex.
You know, things are complex. And when that happens to a student, my first thing in mind is, how am I passing this paper? Because in actual sense, I have no clue about this number.
You know,
But I
most of
have
the
to do
time,
this number. You understand? So that alone gives me the driving force
To go and
to
engage
indulge
yourself
in
in
malpractice.
examination
you know,
malpractice.
back to the teachers concept. About the teachers, you be like the teachers is, but they give us simple exercises. I think most of the time when they give us, they just want us to capture the concept and find, okay, like, how should I say, widen our thinking capacity by bringing the more complex ones in the examinations. Yes. So perhaps these teachers bringing the ones that are more complex think they're widening our capacity, which they are not doing. I think they should also come in with the more complex examples also in the classroom.
Also, you see, there's this thing that has been, I don't know if it has just started, but schools, there's this competition between schools.
It has not started.
It hasn't
today,
started. It's something that has been there
way
already.
back.
Good, but
Like-
it has a way it has become tense over the
I
past.
think it is because of the so much social media that everything is
Put on
See,
put
platforms.
on camera.
That competition alone has also led to the burst out of malpractices in exam. Because how can you tell me that if Madina Islamic Senior Secondary School has been the best Islamic school
In
let's
Uganda.
say, in Uganda in 2024?
Yeah.
Give me 10 reasons why in 2025, if the students are not working towards the same objective like last year,
Yeah.
that is 2024. If they are not working towards the same objective, why would the school not indulge in malpractices? Because Madina as a school is not ready to be second.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not ready to be second. So the same applies to other schools.
Yeah.
Okay, if Budo SS is somewhere, for example, position number 3 in Uganda,
Yeah.
it will not want to be there next year.
It just wants to be number 2 or
It wants
number
to
1.
be number 2, number
Or
1.
number one.
Okay, they are aiming higher. Like the English say. You understand? So if they are aiming higher, there is no reason why they are not going to indulge themselves in malpractices in examinations, because their being number one is not going to come because of wealth. We are not talking the wealthiest parents are in Budo SS. No, we're talking performance. Okay, performance is what renders schools good or bad. You understand? Madina is a good school because of its performance.
Yes.
It's top-notch performance. You understand? The same applies to Budo SS. However, if there are many good schools, there's always the best.
Yeah.
Okay, and all schools are working towards
To be the best.
towards being the best. So in most that alone pushes them towards indulging in malpractices in examinations.
Even the failure for the students, that fear to go home with the report letters having poor performance. When you feel maybe your parent is paying a lot of money and is putting that force that you have to come back with
Good results.
then you have to feel like you have to go with the paper so that you pass the papers. And maybe even fear to fail because you're going to be caged. And the student has to be maybe to feel like I have to write this customary on my body so that I can do what? I can pass the papers. Maybe this are the kind of teachers that want us to pass. Maybe this is found especially with the UNEB. Yeah, when you find a math teacher wants the student to pass his or her paper, like you have to bring in the copying so that the students should pass. Then you find that like maybe the examinations are being like grabbed by UNEB.
You see, I don't know if I'm the only one who sees this, but also self-confidence, lack of self-confidence
Mostly in students.
Mostly in students.
Yeah.
Also,
Even after
causes
reading, you'd want to take a summary.
Because personally, for example, if I'm poor in, let's say, economics, if I'm poor in economics, okay, and even if I'm given a week to read for a test, a mere test, even if it's a topical test,
And you fully read.
and you feel you read,
There is this feeling like, what if I forget?
What
if-
thing?
What
Not
if I
confident
forget
what you
the
have
keyword?
read.
So where
What
you
if
read
this
and you
goes
feel like
wrong?
everything you're reading, you're just forgetting it the moment you turn the page.
At some point, we crack jokes in classes whereby we are like, I read everything, I read the whole textbook, but when I entered the paper, all I had to do is sneeze once, and I was blank as a white sheet. You understand?
That's what they call cramming.
It's just lack of self-confidence that I've read the book fine, but what if?
What if this
The moment
happens?
you have that what if concept in your brain, you don't feel enough of
You'll
yourself.
be forced to carry something with you. Like, in case I forget this, I'm going to check in myself,
I
get
have
the
my
paper
plan
out.
B. I could just
Plan
get
B.
the paper.
Get
We
to
even
the
have
paper.
the
plan
answers
B's,
from that.
C's, or even D's
You know,
up
even
until Z.
there is even coughing in the paper. Objectives. You cough once, you cough twice, you cough thrice. You always have an objective, as long as you're really determined to copy. If you're lacking self-confidence,
Situation about like the students sharing the papers.
Yeah.
You find like you told your colleague that you read this and I will read this.
Passporting.
Yeah. Then when you find out like the ones you read, they did not read them. Then you have to call the colleague. Did you read this? You have it. Then
Yeah.
in that process.
that also happens sometimes because of inadequate time for reading. You know, there's a time when the school can really set up a really hectic timetable. You're going to have a paper in the morning, a 3-hour paper. You're going to have a paper in mid-morning. You're also going to have a paper after lunch. So during that time, you cannot read the whole book or even
grasp
cover.
all those
You can't grasp
subjects.
all that. So you're going to be forced to tell your friend, Read price
this,
theory.
I'll read that.
I read inflation, I read something different, you get. So you'll be forced. You know, if they read this, you help me out. That's already
Or you
malpractice.
can just like, let me say you answer this, let me say question 1. So when you're done, you pass the answer sheet to me.
And I'll give you my-
I'll give you my other
question
question
three.
because there wasn't enough time to
Yeah.
read for all the questions.
Yes.
Well,
So they
actually-
should set timetables that are quite favorable for reading.
On another hand, there are some examinations that bring these, they make students overwhelmed. Like, a student could be good in these tests, topical tests, beginning of term, mid-term, end of term.
Yeah.
But when we talk UNEB,
Yeah.
you know, you will be fine up until when the moment you sit in the examination hall and you realize your whole future.
The panic.
You're writing your
You know,
future.
even would see
You
people
understand?
cry before they enter the
feeling,
examination
you get
room.
overwhelmed. You're like, oh my God, I'm writing my future. What if I mess up? What if I get an O in this
Yeah.
paper? This is a
Anxiety.
principal paper. I need to be sponsored by the government. You understand? That alone.
The school
that
looks up to
alone.
me. I'm 001. That
Understand?
alone.
The school has given you index number 001.
01.
That means the school expects a lot
You look at
from
the
you as a
paper,
person. You
The
look
whole
at
of
the paper,
section B, you
look
have
at
no idea.
yourself,
You're going to be forced to go to
so
the
like-
washrooms, get a book, open, copy something, go back to the examination room.
How about bursaries? Don't they end up
Yeah, like
And
keeping
you
it
may
the way it is.
keeping it the way it is, yes.
Yeah,
That can also
obviously.
make you go for malpractice.
Or even
Last time you
the
passed, but this
students
time you're
with-
not sure if you're going to make it. You have to maintain the performance
Or
to
even the
remain with the
students who
bursary.
have issues back home, or other students who want to make their parents proud.
Yeah.
Okay, like for example, if we are not financially stable, where I come from, and for example, the school has bursaries for people who are excelling academically. You understand? I'll indulge in malpractices because I want the bursary. I want the 20 points. I want the 20 points such that I'm on bursary, such that my mom doesn't have to struggle to pay my dues. My dad doesn't have to struggle
Some
to pay
malpractice
my
may
dues.
also come because of family backgrounds. If you're not having enough, just like I said, you're not having enough, you're obviously going to go for copying, that's so you can get a bursary.
Or
That's so you
even-
can stop the struggle from
Or
happening from
even,
home.
like I said, you could want to brag on your brothers back home.
Yeah.
You've all been excelling well and good, but this time you want to spice up the excellence.
But Hajara, say something. Why is so quiet?
I want to talk about the issue, like, of the teachers being responsible for the malpractice. Most especially, like, in government schools, in the rural settings, because there's no one to really monitor the teachers. Like, you have to come in every day, teach the students, give this and everything. So a teacher could come to class in a term, they could just show up like twice and tell you to look for research for the information in textbooks and everything.
Thank you.
And yet you don't have the resources to
So in actual
make
sense,
those
you are the
researches.
teacher of your own self.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teaching yourself.
And those very teachers, at the same time, at the end of at UNEB time, they're going to panic. Wait, I've been given salary.
Yeah.
What if they fail?
If
They're
they
going to
fail,
be
I don't
forced.
have a job.
Yes, I don't
Then
have a
they'll be
job.
forced
They're going to be
to
forced to
also
come in
bring
with the papers
Yes.
to the students.
So
That
that
can
they
also
keep
happen.
up that salary increment and everything.
Materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to ask you this question, but because I know this school has rules and regulations.
A lot of them.
Yeah, and when you don't abide with them, definitely you're going to face the disciplinary committee.
Yes.
What is the penalty for students that are caught in examination malpractice?
Expulsion.
Here.
There are so
Yeah,
many
it's
things.
expulsion.
It's expulsion. But if you're you, and let me say, they give you time because people have different habits and come from different schools. So the first time you're here, they're going to first tell you, they're going to cancel you, they're going to, or even maybe some simple punishment. But the next time you're going to be caught in a malpractice, you're
You
going
go
back home
for good.
for good.
Like for good.
Because
for good.
first of all, you
first
having
time
your malpractice,
for the-
you're putting the school at stake.
Yeah.
What if you do the same thing in UNEB?
UNEB.
They're going to capture the whole center.
Basically
All the
don't know what
results of
you
the
tell
rest.
me
It's a
for
risk.
you being the reason for my results.
For
not
my,
coming back.
you get,
Like-
I have to sit for another year
because of you.
because
you
of
cheated.
you having
thank
your
you.
malpractice in the room. Exactly. So you have to go home. Something.
So that's how serious it's taken here. It's like it's so serious.
Wow. So thank you. Those are some of the the thoughts given to us by students from Madina
Actually, they are
on what they
facts.
think about examination malpractice. It is bad, by the way. So, however, we want us to see what can be done to throw away examination malpractice in schools. Like, what do you think can be done?
Something's already being done, like, how should I say, getting the results and they have to sit for another year. So it has already come
No,
up.
okay,
But
what I'm
then,
trying to mean is, what can they do to say that at least students do not
Engage.
get involved in examination malpractice? Probably, maybe they're not doing the whole syllabuses, maybe teachers are not available, you know? So what do you think can be done?
Well,
Because
the
there is
doses-
always a solution to something.
Well,
the
for the
doses
teachers
can
not being
supervise.
available, that's not a student's position to stand.
Yeah.
Okay, the schools need to employ teachers, like,
And
a lot
also
of
have to
teachers.
supervise the teachers' attendance, because you may employ
Because
employ
there's a
the
lot of
teachers and they're not going to
in
come about.
education.
Yeah.
You're going to just be like, there are these rules that says they make you just call secretary. By the way, I may not make it today, but sign. You
Someone
get,
is
but
feeling
so
it.
somebody can still get their salary even after not attending to the students. And students, like, every student, if a
They'll
teacher
applaud
doesn't
for a
come,
teacher not showing
Basically,
up.
they'll literally be happy. Someone will get time to sleep, get time to converse with your friends, get time to do your own things that make you happy. So they'll literally be happy. No student, no. Maybe if you have that responsibility as a class coordinator, whoever can be like, our teacher hasn't come, it's really, really hard. They'll go and turn into their own things. So that they should get people who are supposed to supervise. Let me say that those should take responsibility and supervise the teacher's attendance in class.
And
Yes.
for teachers who don't show up, like, they could fire them, because if you're not
penalize them.
teaching, you should leave. Because
Yeah.
if you're not doing your job, why are you here? Then should get more teachers, like teachers who are responsible enough to teach the students and complete the syllabus, so the children don't have to engage in examination malpractice.
Students getting the books. Maybe I get my biology book, go there, read. I'm not understanding the things. If I'm not understanding what I'm reading, I'll be forced to copy at the end of the examinations. Then maybe we have to force these teachers to come and attend classes, because if you don't attend the class, I'm reading on my own, not understanding the things, and I'll be like
I'm
forced to
crashing.
copy.
Exactly.
Also, teachers need to create a conducive environment, maybe for students to be able to consult them, because there will be a student when you
Some
don't understand the
teachers
stuff
really
being taught in
bug.
class,
Like,
and then you have
in
to
class,
go consult, but you are scared.
You
that
you
the teacher will
ask,
be like,
you
"Don't
raise a question, the
understand
teacher will ask you, these things are not for everyone.
You don't even have to
You
ask
know?
at some point. They'll look at you.
Or even sometimes they'll be like,
Yeah.
you know what? If you don't put, if you're going to do this, you have to put in effort. If you think you're going to just understand this out of the blue, you're not going to understand anything.
Also
That's
schools,
already
also
a
schools
disclaimer
need to
for students.
expose students, especially the candidates, to different sets of examinations that are not set within, that are not internal.
maybe you can say Wakisha.
Have the
external
Wakisha,
mock papers.
yeah,
papers.
those papers, because that alone, it gives them confidence. That
They can easily know how does this district set their
exactly.
examinations.
Because there's not the UNEB is not any.
It is the same
It's the
teachers
same,
that set
same stuff.
those
The same setting, just that it's what we've been hearing over the past years, all our lives. UNEB is UNEB. You understand? So that's where our confidence goes first. However, if schools are exposing the students to different kinds of examinations, the Wakisha, the Motigo, and others, okay, I'll be confident. I'll know, like, I've done Wakisha before, okay.
I've done Matigo, it was
I've done
hard.
Matigo before.
Why
it
not
was hard,
UNEB?
okay, and I scored this. We did correction. They brought more Matigo. I passed Matigo.
Yeah.
Okay. People who are setting Matigo exams, people who are setting Wakisha, they are the very people that
Who are
setting
going to
UNEB.
be setting in
You
it?
understand?
So you get that confidence.
If I can pass Wakisha, I can pass Matigo, or if I can bear with Matigo, I can bear with Wakisha. That means
Then,
I can equally bear with UNEB.
The other things, the teachers are not supposed to over pressurize the students and be like, they failed this.
Yeah.
You're all done. Each of you getting 20 VAMs, you get. You're supposed to be like, they're supposed to even actually cancel and tell them, this is your future. You guys are supposed to work hard. If you guys don't work hard right now, this is what you're going to use.
Yeah.
These are documents you're going to be using. This is what you're going to present in offices.
You're not even cancelling.
Instead of tell them.
Cancelling what?
Yeah, because it works. Because you're going to tell me, I'm going to know this is my future. You're even going to get attached. You'll be like, if I fail, if I have this malpractice thing, what if I get caught? My dream is going to be shattered. You get? But then this thing is being like, we're going to vam you, you're putting pressure. You're putting the pressure. Somebody's not going to take their time reading. You're not going to use you're not going to read at your own pace. You're going to read hard, not to read smart. You're reading hard, you're going to panic. You're going to read and you're going to be forced to have malpractice in the
Okay,
paper.
so that is all that we had for today. However, I want the students to give us their last remarks. Each student, say your name, give us your last remarks. Be loud, please.
We have been discussing about the malpractice in schools. Maybe my remarks to this that teachers, this is to be questioned by the teachers that are teaching the students. Maybe discuss about how they are supposed to push out this malpractice in the students. Maybe you the teacher, you are the one concerned about advising your students not to use those things because they might lead to failure in because you have to be confident.
Bulaf Hashim Ali. My final remarks about malpractices in examinations would be equipping the students with all they need.
Yeah.
Like if I have everything I need, it's just up to me to read,
And understand and then write.
the concepts, the content, have it in my head, be confident about what I have, do the paper, go.
My name is Hajar Aike, and my last remark on this is that the whole malpractice thing, it has the responsibility falls on all three, the administrators, the teachers and the students. So everyone should take responsibility and fulfill their part. The administration providing the teachers who are going to teach the students and the available resources like books in libraries, the teachers teaching the whole syllabus and being available for students to consult when needed, and the students reading smart, not reading hard. Take your time. If you know you're a slow student, take your time to understand what you're reading so you can be able to answer your examinations and excel in them.
I think it all starts with self-confidence. It's all about what you think about yourself. Even though you've had the whole book all night, you're going to have some doubts about yourself. If you don't have confidence, you're going to have doubts and still happen to go for malpractice. So it all starts with you. You're supposed to believe in yourself and believe you have the content that you have. And even if it doesn't show up in the paper, you have to have faith that it's going to turn up maybe somewhere else, perhaps even your name. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. That is what we had for you today. You had the students talk about examination malpractice, the causes, and what can be done, or call them the solutions. This is Rukia Riad, and you are watching Riad Diaries. Kindly like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.